Okay, good morning, everyone. So today will be our first session in the Azure training program. Yesterday, many people who have joined today's session have attended the demo. But for the sake of the people who have joined today, I will not make that lengthy as I have did yesterday. So we will try to move on with a bit faster, not so much faster. So but a bit faster. So what we are going to learn in this Azure training program would be three different things. One is Azure Data Factory, and second environment would be Azure Synapse, and third environment would be Databricks. So mostly it would be Azure Databricks. And at the end of the session, I will help you how to create a Microsoft Azure account where you can create your own credentials, or for the time being, at least for a week, what I can do is I can share my credentials in the group, not in the group. You can ping me directly in the WhatsApp, and I could share the credentials for you. So we will try to understand what are the training we are going to get, and why we are going for the cloud data engineering. So what's the meaning of a data engineer, and what's the market and the opportunities, and how the data is getting generated from different sources or different streams. So for this, let's try to understand from the beginning or the scratch. So what's our course objectives? That would be, we will try to understand what, as I said, what is cloud, what are big data concepts, technologies, and what are the analytical problems in the recent times, and these kind of things. And we will also understand what the Microsoft data solutions or the data services that are being provided from the Microsoft end to come up with these kind of problems. And we will also look at, we will deep dive into this, like we will spend a reasonable amount of time for the ADF, and reasonable amount of time for the Synapse, as well as a reasonable amount of time for the Databricks environment as well. So, uh, okay. So apart from this, just as we move on, as we have discussed, or let's not use the word as we have discussed. I know this is the new session. So what's the modern data problem? Just to be brief, not to deep dive. So as you can understand, we have a increased amount of internet usage, and Internet of Things are being generated. Like as I mentioned, we can say uh, Facebook, social media, YouTube, banking sector, travel sector, retail sector, many applications have come up. So to understand all of this and to come up with appropriate business solutions for all these new technologies, or the new type of environment we are living in, we need something kind of a typical type of a data solution. So to understand, to create a solution, we need to understand what's the problem. So what's the our modern data problem is, we have a volume of data which is exponentially increasing, such as we have different types of files, or different types of formats, or different types of data being generated on a daily, hourly basis. Let's not even say daily, it's on an hourly basis, that we are not able to cope up with. So we need a kind of a typical solution for our data. And yeah, and the well, yeah, and the velocity of the data, how big, how frequently the data is being generated, is also one of the modern data problem that we are facing. Apart from this, there is one more exponential graph that grows. It's the variety of the data. As I said, the type of the data. It's not only files today we are generating. It's also different kinds of formats, like videos and unstructured data. So these are typically some different different concepts, but we will try to understand what are the types of data today, and what are the velocity of the data, how the velocity of data is being generated, and what is the volume of the data, how we will just have a deep dive into this. Then we will look what kind of sectors are develop or sorry, what kind of sectors are creating or generating what kinds of data. So to understand or create a solution, we need to understand how a data is getting processed. So, I mean, how or what types of data is being processed. So let us take an examples, and we will go with some real-time examples. So you will try to understand. You can understand when I say a data engineer. So what does he or she does in the real-time industry? So our job, a cloud data as a cloud data engineer, our job would be to bring the data. As an engineer, we will apply our techniques or the uh, some kind of transformations to be in brief, like a high level concept, like we will apply some kind of transformations, and then we will provide this data to the business user to make some real time analysis and make business decisions on basing on the data which we are providing after our transformations is will help them grow their businesses. That's the job of the data engineer. We are kind of a bridge in between the organizations, higher organization, people who are in the higher level of the organization, and the data that is being generated. So we have a crucial job or a crucial role to play here. So that's okay. So what a data engineer does is a bit clearer now. But let's try to understand when I'm saying data is being generated, data is being generated. So what kinds of data is being generated? One thing we can say is a batch data processing. So yeah. So what kind of batch data is being generated? Or let's go with the real-time data first, then I will go with the batch data. So what is the real-time data? Can anyone give any kind of example how a real-time data get generated in your real life applications? Just try to give me an example. So like I will expand on that. I will try to explain on that how a real-time data gets generated. Any idea?
Facebook, YouTube,
What?
Facebook, YouTube.
Good. That's one kind of example, but let me go with one simple example where many people can understand. Let's say, not let's say, we everyone now uses a bank account, right? So one bank account or the bank transactions, or we can take financial sectors where you can say using bank accounts, or more appropriate or the more easier example for you people is, let's say, stock market. Many people have the knowledge of stock market, how the market goes up and down, and how the data fluctuates even for the fraction of seconds. Like let's say I am investing on a stock of, which is called Google. Okay, on the Google stock, the price of the stock was maybe 250 rupees at 8 a.m. Okay, 8 not 8 800 a.m. At 8:02 a.m., what happened? Went from 250, the stock went from 250 to 175. Okay, let's say it's 8:02. I'm not giving too much realistic. Maybe that will not happen with the stock, but I'm just trying to make you understand what real-time data looks like. And maybe it went to 300 at 8:15. Okay, so let's say, let's try to understand in this example that this is a real-time data where the users are able to see it, and the data changes even on a minutely basis or even secondly basis. So what happens is, when I went to buy this some kind of stock at 8 a.m., the stock was at 250 and the stock became 175 at 802, it became 300 at 815. So the data which is being provided to the user and the data which is being brought from the Google company, so it is like the stockbroker brings this gives this data to the users. So there is a bridge between, and this is the Google company. So between these two, we play a crucial role. Data handling is done. Okay, make sense? Make sense? Or I can go with a different example. Like we can go with the banking sector example. Make sense? Any questions?
Yeah, no,
So from the stock exchange market to the company that is selling this stock, there is a bridge between these two where we have to generate or we have to use some kind of application where we will be coordinating between these two and providing the end users with the real time analysis. So this is one type of data or one type of example for the real time data. Now one more example, let's say we all do UPI transactions, right? UPI transactions, what happens is it is also a real time data where we are the bridge between we are the bridge between uh, banks banks and the users, the end users who are doing the transaction. So whenever we do a transaction, we that transaction has to go and check in the bank account that amount is available, the money is available or not. Then only it will proceed forward. So it is also a real-time analysis of the data. Now, apart from this, this is kind of the data which we generate on the real time. But there is one more thing. So let us go with the financial sector only. So there is some kind of latency or there is some kind of no need for real time analyzing of the data. Let's say many people know about the mutual funds, right? So the mutual funds, the stock market is one thing where you will have the real time data and everything is changing one after another time. But the mutual funds work on a different way, where it has something called I think NAV, something generated at the end of the day. Okay, end of the day, this data will be generated. So once the stock settle or the market settles, what happens is let's try to understand from the data engineering point of view rather than the financial point of view. So what they do is, I have bought an SIP or a mutual fund for 1500 rupees at 12 a.m. Sorry, 12 p.m. Okay. Now, my friend has also bought another the same SIP, okay, now the same mutual fund for 2000 rupees at 2 p.m. So what the organizations do or the batch processing means is they will not process this data immediately. Okay. What they will do, they will go and process at the end of the day, like maybe at every day at 9 p.m. after everything closes, they will process all these files that how many people have purchased, uh, how many mutual funds, and they will go and make the calculations, and then they will process the data, and then they will provide the appropriate receipts or appropriate information regarding our purchase to us. So there is a difference between a real-time data and the batch processing data. So real-time data, what happens is they make the analyzing or the processing of the data instantly. So there is no wait time. Real-time near real-time analysis is something we can refresh or bring the data or process the data instantly without any delay. So these are kind of things now the industry is looking for, because no one has the patience or no one has the time to wait to the end of the day. But in the meantime, it's not only that case. Real time analyzing uh, makes us, it makes things costlier because you need so much resources or the compute to run them. So we will try to understand a bit after, at the end of I mean in the middle of the course, like why, what kind of processing is costing, what types of the cost is getting for what types of data processing. But so it's not only real-time data in the industry. We are having a batch process, like we don't need to process it and on a day, on instantly. Maybe we can process it. Batch processing can be classified into like daily. You can process it. No, not even daily. Let's take an example of a retail sector. So let's take an example. Sorry, let's take an example of a retail sector where let's say mm, Flipkart. Okay, I went on to the Flipkart, so I logged in and I have ordered some a mobile. Okay, let's say I have ordered a mobile. So what Flipkart does when I order this, first thing it is collecting the data. Of course, everyone has the online purchase nowadays. So what Flipkart does is, first of all, it will save the whatever the information I have provided, name, email ID, mobile number, address, and everything. Second thing, we are trying to understand data processing. So second thing, what I did, purchased a mobile. I purchased a mobile, let's say at mm, maybe at 1 p.m. Okay. What Flipkart does, process, it will not go and process instantly my data or my purchase at 1 p.m. only. Rather, what it will do, what the business or the optimal way of doing this is, it will calculate, the Flipkart business will calculate how many orders have been purchased between 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. or maybe 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. In this time window, maybe there have 10,000 orders being processed. Okay, different customers, different products, different vendors, everything is different. So what now Flipkart does is, it will go and it will process all the orders between this time frame at one time. So this is also one of the typical example of how a batch processing of the data looks like. One, real time. Two, batch processing. So I hope this makes sense now, because there is a big difference between these two. So types of data and the depth of data processing is the initial way of you people understanding what we are going to deal with in the future. So to make or to build any ETL solution, any type of pipeline or the jobs you are going to do in the future, is the first step is to analyze your data, to understand your data. So to whenever a architect, like whenever we are going to do some kind of new project, so let's try architect level of thinking would be in this way. So he goes to the business and he will ask a set of questions like, one, what type of data, type of the data, okay, two, frequency of the data, three, three, what processes we are going to use. So these kind of questions come. So the first things is, we understand our data, then we understand the business, then we try to understand what type of solution suits this kind of business with this kind of data. So these are the main or the basic things a data engineer should be aware of when he is working with, or when he is working for any kind of project. Any questions until here? Let me pause here. I think I'm giving you a bit more information. But I'm moving a bit uh, faster. So let me just pause here and take any questions you have. Please ask questions. I will like it. It is the way that you people are trying to communicate or understand. That makes me understand that you people are understanding something. So please feel free to ask questions like maybe let it be a uh, silly one, but let's ask. Cool. I don't see any questions, but I hope you people are trying. You people are getting what I'm saying. At least that would be okay. Now, now to make any analysis or uh, to make any kind of to come to an end or to come to an conclusion, not an end, to come to a conclusion, we have, let's say we have a data of uh, we have a data which is coming real time, but how can I understand what type of how can I come to a conclusion on what is this good or bad? So I need to compare it with something, right? I need to at least so if I'm doing something today, but to understand that if it is good or not, I need to compare it with my previous task in the old days. What I am trying to say here is we need to compare our data where let it be real time, let it be batched processing. So if we want to make some kind of analysis of the data, we need one more thing called historic data. Okay, historic data is also available. So how what example can I give for this is yeah, let's take cricket. Okay, let's take cricket. And of course, I hope and not to deep dive into cricket, but what I'm trying to explain to you here is whenever you are watching a cricket match or whenever you are watching any kind of matches, so there would be some kind of analysis based upon saying that sometimes on the screen you can see uh, this team has so and so record against this team. Maybe this player has a good record against uh, this kind of bowlers. So this bowler has a good record on bowling such kind of places. So how this process can be done? So how this data processing can be done is maybe you have seen many times. Sometimes some person scores a century or something. What it will show on the screen is like this is the highest uh, total, or this is the first time someone has scored some kind of this kind of uh, score in this ground or in this field or something. So to get that understanding, you need to compare or you need to hold the historic data and you need to process the real time or the new data and compare it with the historic data. So when I'm saying like historic data, let's go with the same example. Like maybe there is a cricket match in Hyderabad Stadium. So maybe Virat Kohli has scored a some kind of a century, maybe double century, and to understand that no person ever has scored a double century in the Hyderabad Stadium, you need to have the data from the day the cricket has begun, right? The day cricket has born, we should someone should be storing all the data, okay, all the data, and then we can go and compare it to our new data, compare it to our new data which has been generated right now. Like based upon this only, you can say that okay, this has never been happened in the history. To say that, you need to have some kind of historic data available with you to help you with the analyzing part. So this is also a kind of data processing which we will have. So in the real time scenario, let's forget cricket now. Just that was to make you understand. In the real time scenario, or the real time project basis, the historic data is a place like now. I have a project where we are building a solution. So we are analyzing the data of the purchases that have been done. So the purchases that have been done in the month of June or May. To understand if it is good or not, I need to compare it with the previous month purchases, right? So if I need to understand the current data, like maybe our company had made a net profit of 100 crores in the month of May. Okay. Now this is good or bad when compared to April. When compared to April, when com when comparing to April, is it good or bad? How I can understand? Maybe in April we have made only 90 crores. Okay. Now, when I compare these two data, then I will know that no, we have an increase of 10 crores in May. Whatever may be the reason, so let's not go into the technicality, whatever may be the reason, but there is an increase of 10 crore income, right? So that to get at this point of 10 crore income has been increased, I need to have the historic data as well. So that kind of data, I need to store it at some place. Then I need to process it. I need to process my new data, and on basing of the new and the old data, I can make a comparison or the or historical data processing, you can say. So this is kind of a data processing which we will have for the this is also one kind of historic processing. I mean, like not we are going to have. So this is also one kind of thing. So one, we had covered real-time data processing, how the real-time data gets generated and how real-time data gets processed. Two, how the batch data gets generated and how it gets processed. Three, how the historic data gets generated is stored, and what's the use case of the historic data. Now, there is one more, like how I can explain to you that one second. Yeah. Now let's move on to the next processing of the data. That would be your predictive data. You can call it as predictive data. I will say why I'm calling it predictive. Okay. This is a data which will make us understand by to make such some kind of predictions, like okay, what example will suit this? Let's take the email example of Yahoo and Google. Okay, maybe before there was so many customers for Yahoo. Okay, Yahoo or Yahoo Mail or something, whatever it is, Yahoo Mail. Let's say Yahoo Mail. In 2009, it had 2007, it had more customers than whatever the customers it has on the present day. So now let us take the example of Gmail. Let us compare. mm, Let us compare these two and let's make an analysis on this. On 2007, maybe it had 10 million customers. Okay. In 2008, it came to 9.5 million customers. This is just kind of a case study. No, it's better we go with the, yeah, this is only more appropriate. Maybe Go Gmail had only 2 million customers, and in 2008, Gmail came up with 2.5 million customers. So to make the predictions, to make the prediction, we need to have some kind of data processing to be done in the backend. Just I cannot just go and tell a multi-million dollar company, I'm predicting that your company is going to stop. what are the facts, what are the what are the sources you have to justify my claim. So how I'm going to say that I'm predicting this? So how can someone say that some excess stock is going to plunge today, like it's going to skyrocket today, or it is going to down today? Maybe depends upon different factors, but just try to understand from a data analyzing point of view. So to say that we need to have some kind of data analysis in the backend. So we need to let's try to understand from this mails only. Like Yahoo has decreased their mail customers from 2007 to 2009 by a 0.5 million, where Gmail has increased its followers by 0.5 million. So based upon some X factors, the number of registrations being done, the number of new accounts being created, the old accounts being deactivated, the number of accounts that are not being used. Basing upon all these, we come to an predictive analysis that maybe this business is going to stop in next 15 years. If you don't take any step to improve your business, such kind of graph where your which shows the analysis and analyzing of the data, like it, we can predict the future of some companies by using or doing the data analysis prediction. Maybe they can save it, maybe they cannot save it. That depends upon the business owners who are owning the business. But we can use the data to make some kind of predictions, but on top of the analysis only. The predictive data now, how what types of it will have, maybe it will have a combination of real time and a historic data as well, but it is also a use case of how the data can be used. Okay, now coming to the next part of the data, which will be anal analytical data, where where I think the best example would be to say the Amazon only. Like we try to understand where Amazon wants to build it new data warehouses. Let's say it want to build a warehouse in Pune and one warehouse in Chennai. I'm just giving metropolitan city example, so it will be easier for you to understand. Just don't look it at a point of finite grain. Just try to look it at a point of uh, data from that point of data view only. So it will be easier for you rather than going into the technicalities. Okay. Now Amazon wants to build a data warehouse. So sorry, not data warehouse. It wants to build a warehouse at Pune location. So how it will analyze this? So to analyze this, it has to make something called, it has to go and check all the order details and check all the customer vendor details, and it has to choose a location where it will be a perfect location where it can communicate between the vendors and the customers at the same time with a minimal cost. So to do that, the data analysis is also important. So this kind of analysis will make business take a solution. Businesses take a decisions which will improve their own businesses. So it will make their business more effective and less costly. So this is one of the uh, processing of the data which we can see in the real time. There is one last thing which I want to discuss. Apart from the analytical data, you have one thing is mm, one thing I can say is data for change. You can say this is some one last thing. I will give you a real time example because it's more easier for you people to understand in this way. Okay, let's go here only. So, so let's open any banking sector website. Let's say I'm go to ICICI. Okay, let me open any banking ICICI website. There must be something called a bot. Okay, see, this is a virtual assistant. which may have not been visible to us maybe before 3 or 4 years. Let's say 5 years. Let's go travel back 5 years, and we will not have such kind of application. So when we want to assist or when we want to get information regarding something, let's say I want to get information today upon my savings account. So I have to, before I either have to go to bank or either I have to log in into my account, or I can ask for the customer care representatives to give me some information regarding the opening a savings bank account, right? But today you have such things called uh, bots. So this is something where businesses adopt or get the data which they have and make the analysis, and they mm, come up with the changes that the industry requires. So if here I am seeing this in ICICI, maybe SBI has their own bot, maybe some other bank has their own bot. So let's say if I am not adapting for the changes, or the business is not adapting for the changes that are being coming into the light as we are seeing now, so there is no point, right? You have to have such kind of uh, improvement. So let's take my example only. Now, today, Databricks has come up with too many new things. So from the past 6 months, there are so many changes that has come into the Databricks. Like they have introduced Unity Catalog. They came up with something called workflows, Delta Live tables, and everything. So we will discuss. But I'm trying to understand from my point of view. So if I'm not going to teach you, I will say, no, no, I will only teach old stuff only. I cannot teach you Delta Live tables, which are new in database. Also, I don't know. So, how you people will go and work in the industry? So, I need to adopt the same change, which is the same things the businesses also needs to adopt, right? So, they also have to come up with the solution of a new technological era. To do that, they need to analyze this data and come up with the predictions, or not the prediction. They need to analyze the data and they need to make the changes to their businesses. So this is also one kind of data processing that can be done in the industry. So there are, you just try to understand, there are now 6 types of data processing which we have discussed. One, real time; two, batch processing; three, historical data; four, predictive data; five, analytical; and six, data for change. So these are all a typical way of looking at the data. I know this is the first lecture, but not going into the technicals. These are some basic stuffs which I want to cover, because every day we are talking data engineering, data engineering, data engineering. So what's data engineering and what is the data, first of all? So I wanted to make you understand that thing. Then only I wanted to move forward. Any questions until here? Like anything you wanted to guys not understood in any kind of things which I have explained here. So I can just go back and explain to you with a different example. If something I'm going faster, or if they have not understood with one example, just let me know. So I can just go ahead and give you a different example and make you understand the same thing with a different kind of approach. Let's take a minute and let's try to ask any questions. Awesome. If no questions, then let's move forward with our presentation. And I know I have to give you something at the end of the presentation to uh, how to create a Azure free account. So you people will have the training sessions, not tomorrow, but at least not the next session. At least from Thursday, I will give you at least 2 labs, and the Friday I will end the week and I will give some kind of 2 3 labs for you to practice on the real time. So at least creation and doing these things will help you. Okay. So okay, now how the data is being generated based upon the different industries. So we have looked at into the real time processing. So The retail group uses the real-time processing of the data to understand and develop their businesses. As I gave the example of uh, how what I can say, Flipkart or Amazon. So how they process the data, they take the real-time data. Maybe they not process it real time, but it is a real-time data generation. That is the data that is being generated real time. Now, the healthcare sector is also one of the data generators. So, when I say healthcare, so let's try to understand uh, we are when we purchase some kind of insurance, so it is also one kind of data that is being generated. So we are giving them our information, we are giving them our health information, and when you go to a lab, when you make some kind of analysis, so I have a report being generated on my name that Jamal had done these and these things. Maybe his blood sugar is so, and his analysis of EMI has came back, so some things like this. So everything is the everything that is being generated from the healthcare sector would be also considered as how the data is being generated. So now the financial sector. So how the financial sector real-time data we have seen for the stock markets and the banking, UPI transactions and everything. So by analyzing this data, there is something called we can help the people or the help the customers uh, for the risk of getting frauded. So we see many cases in the real time, like these people have scammed so many people or something like this. So to avoid such kind of things, like banks come up with different kinds of solutions, providing two-factor authentication and giving such kind of OTPs or something in your mobile instantly, so that only you can access this. So to do that, we need to have a setup of data back in the backend. So we need to have some kind of process in the backend. To do that, we need to have some kind of compute. So everything we not everything, but most of the things that we are be generated by the data, we will be handling that. That's the role of the data engineers actually. So advertisement sector. So this is also a kind of place where the data gets generated. So whenever you log in into your YouTube accounts or someplace, maybe in the Facebook, you see the ads popping up. So how we will understand this ads? Maybe I have searched for a flight ticket, and now all my Google browser looks like whenever I open something, I can see, okay, please, you can book a flight ticket from here to here at this cost, very cheap flights and everything. So it's the advertising sector also takes the advantage also, even that also generates the data. So this is also one of the sector where where most of the data gets generated. And this is all one thing, the manufacturing sector or the energy sector or the oil and gas sector, a typical mechanical or a manufacturing sector, you can say, not mechanical, a sector where the data provided by them or the data generated by them helps that industry understand my machinery or my process is going to break at this point. So I need to have some kind of backup or some kind of uh, spare parts or something they need to set up some kind of things from that. So to give them to analyze or to understand them to come at that point, we need to process the data and give them with the analysis. And the media entertainment, so consider social medias like Facebook and maybe television sector also, you can consider it as it is also one of the sector where the data is being generated. And you can see it's a kind of typical where don't see it, but it's also one of the things where security of the data, security sector also generates the data. So firewalls and all those things, these also kind of generate the data. Okay, so moving forward, let me go here. So let me give you a brief things of what are the three major services which we are going to learn in this course. The first thing which we will be going with is the Azure Data Factory. So what's an Azure Data Factory? Many times we are going to learn Microsoft Azure Data Factory. So Azure Data Factory, to give a simple or one-line explanation, we can say it as it's a fully managed serverless data integration solution for ingesting, preparing, transforming all of your data at scale. So let's try to understand a bit rather than to make it a simple English. So it is fully managed. When I say fully managed, it is managed by Microsoft. Serverless data. So you don't need to maintain any kind of infrastructure at your place. So in typical back days, what's happened is we have a server room, or we have a place where our database is stored, and we need to provide with different things. You need to provide with electricity, you need to provide with security, you need to provide with infrastructure, you need to buy the servers and databases to where you can integrate with them. And you need to provide cooling to that room. Also, the temperatures could not rise, so it has a limitation. So everything now is managed by Azure. Okay. And for all these things, we will be paying some kind of a cost for the compute which we are using from the Azure Data Factory. So it is a fully managed service by the Microsoft, and it is a serverless data integration solution for ingesting, means bringing up the data, preparing. It's like we are making some kind of massage to the data where we can go and use it, and transforming the data. So we will make some kind of transformations, like I don't want everyone's name from the people who have purchased mobile phones. Only I want people who have purchased mobile phones and whose name is maybe Jamal. So we can filter, or we can transform, or you can say, I want only the details of the people who has purchased this mobile, whose age may be greater than only 18 years. Only I want to know the adults who have purchased this product. So we can transform. To do that, we will understand a bit in the moving forward in the sessions, but just I'm giving you brief things. So these are all maintained by the Azure. Now, why it's so easier, or not easier, like it's kind of growing more so exponentially, is one of the things is it provides us with the different kinds of solutions. Like it is industry leading. The reason it being industry leading is many people who come from a non-coding background can also work freely, work easily, and come up with good solutions. Maybe I have a good ETL solution, but I don't have that kind of coding knowledge. So Data Factory provides you the capability to work with the Azure Data Factory with writing minimal code. I am saying no code here, but consider it as a minimum, or like no, it's like no code, but of course there will be a 1% something kind of code. So it's a hybrid solution, and the one of the main reasons many people all adopt for the cloud data engineering or the cloud solutions nowadays is only you will pay for what you are using. We don't need to maintain 100 crore infrastructure just to use it at some time. So we will use only 10 crore infrastructure, and we only need 10 crore infrastructure, so we will only use only 10 crore, like servers and everything. When we move forward, you will try to understand by saying the different kinds of uh, compute options or the stories we will have. So the next thing is, what is Azure Synapse Analytics? Now, it is an upgraded version. Many people try to and confuse it with I can do everything in the data factory. Why I need Azure Synapse? It has something different here. It brings data integration and the data warehousing at one place, along with the capability of big data analytics. So simple English, uh, you will have a solution here where you will have the capability of the data factory, where you can build the pipelines or the ETL solutions for the same thing, and a data warehouse where you can store the structured data once you have done, or once you have cleaned it. Now, after that, you have something called big data analysis. I'm just pressing it here. The reason is you will get the capability to process your data using using the Spark. So Apache Spark is one of the fastest, or the you can consider it as it is one of the good solutions, or the best solutions that we have right now in the industry to process big data, or huge amounts of data. So we get all these capabilities at one place, and have the Metastore and Unity catalog, you would not understand at this point. So it's kind of a good thing to have everything in one place. So it will help us understand what's happening in the different process. So once we start learning, we can understand that. So let's not focus on this. I will come back and give you the same thing again. So just try to understand three things here. You will have SQL, you will have Spark, and you will have the pipelines, everything at one place. So it's kind of a good thing or a improved thing. Now even Microsoft have come up with one new feature of Fabric. It's not at release, so once it gets released, I will also add it to my course, of course. But it's also one of the upgraded solution of using the new or the new technologies that have come into. So everything has its own uh, capabilities. Now, coming to the Azure Databricks is something where we have the capabilities of the Spark. So it's a really good thing, and we have so many features available on that. So apart from this, we have something called the security of the Azure comes on top of the Apache Spark. So we need to, when once you start the course, you will understand why it's called Azure Databricks and Databricks, what's the difference between these two. And once we are creating a Databricks account or a Databricks workspace, how it's linked with the any other cloud service providers and the reason behind that. So at this point, it's kind of not an appropriate time for you to explore these things. So that would be our session's end. But what I will do is I will go and take you to the Azure portal. But in the meantime, any questions regarding anything, like we have discussed many types of data and the data generation and everything. I know maybe it's a bit confusing, but I still want to ask you any questions. Anyone, anything from any point? Awesome. Then let's move forward. Just let me show you where you can go to create it. Now, where you can go to create a new Azure portal. So how you will need to log in and how the portal looks like. So just type in portal.azure.com. This is the URL. So this is the URL for the logging into your Azure portal. So once you are here, you can create your own account. So it's kind of a simple thing. You need to create like general accounts, like any account you create. So you need to have three things. One, a new email ID that has never been used on the Microsoft Azure portal. Two, you need to have a mobile number that has never been used on the Microsoft Azure portal. Three, you need to have a credit card where you will give the credit card details to the Azure portal, where they will not charge you. They will give you a free trial of 1 month with $200, which is approximately 15,800 Indian rupees, which we will get. So you can have that. So these three things are needed when you are creating the account, and the steps would be self-explanatory. So nothing fancy to be there. So this is the portal URL. So if you want, I can just ping it in the chat of um, our WhatsApp chat. I think everyone has the access to or is attending the class. So let me put it there itself. I don't need it to do that, but just for the people who are new, new and everything. So once you are logged in, your workspace kind of looks like this. There are there are some things called, as I said, subscription. The only thing you right now will be making sense to you would be the subscription. So this is a free trial account. Let me show you. So how you can create it is you need three things. One, a new mail ID that has never been registered on the Azure portal. Two, a new mobile number that has never been registered on the other portal. Three, you need a credit card that has never been given. So you get a free credit for 28 days, and the credit would be for $200, typical 15,800 Indian rupees, and you can use almost all the services here in the free trial. So just try to make sure. So just try to make sure you have this free trial subscription enabled, or if you want to go with the pay as you go, you can just go here and upgrade your subscription. For people who are interested to not make every time a free trial account and wanted to have a dedicated one for themselves, they can move forward and do that as well. But this is how the portal looks like, and try to make sure if people who are registering for first time, you have your details ready, and make sure that once you log in, you can directly give your details, and you can just give your credit card details, and you can move on. So if you want, I can elaborate, but it is a self-explanatory. And if someone creates the account and is facing some issues, they can connect me tomorrow morning at 6:45. Hopefully, I will be available for the people who have some doubts as well at the same time. So I can guide them in the process. And people who wanted to just let me stop the recording.